Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with our friend Martin Parnell. Martin was born in Buckfastleigh, Devon, England. Martin tells me that he and his wife, Sue, have found this time to be extremely difficult. I understand. They stay in constant contact with their kids, Kyle, Callum, Christina, and their kids. Martin and Sue have become accustomed to technology with online chess and Scrabble. They've also tried some virtual activities. In fact, they virtually climbed Mount Everest from base camp to the summit with their daughter and grandson. They did 200 stairs a day and it took 95 days. What an accomplishment together.
Thanks, Kat.
Besides Martin's loved ones, he's passionate about running and using it in ways to help others. And you've certainly done that, Martin, in extraordinary ways. Friends, you'll find his full bio attached. Martin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks, Kat. A pleasure to be here.
I'm delighted. I'm certainly excited about this. And it's been so long. I miss you. I look forward to when we can see each other in person again soon.
Absolutely. My gosh, this is a never-ending story. So the sooner we can get together, and it's going to be a time for celebration for sure.
That's for sure. Lots of hugs all around at that point. Are you ready for the questions we sent you?
You bet. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. The first one being, why do you do what you do?
Well, it's a bit of for me, it's a bit of a mission. It's a bit of a life, kind of a life process that in my work, I mean, my career has changed. I was a mining engineer for 25 years. And then through a number of circumstances, I've ended up being a professional speaker, workshop facilitator. I write articles. I'm an executive film producer, which is kind of crazy. I never thought I'd be involved in that. Charity race organizer. And next year, I'll be the district governor for Rotary District 5360, which is Southern Alberta. And for me, this is all part of sharing a kind of a dream that I think we can all make a difference. I don't think we've got to do a lot, but I think we've got to do something. And so, as I say, whether it's, presentations I give on the marathon quest, or making a difference, or helping people, it's part of that process that really I kind of live it every day.
And you do. You are such a great Rotarian, such a great human, great citizen. You've done so much for our global community. And I'm delighted that you're here. And District Governor, that's wonderful. It's good news. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is good news. It's kind of scary. My gosh, in our district, we have 48 clubs with 1,700 members. And they're the premise of Rotary is service above self. And I will talk about it a little later, but it's about giving back. And I think one thing during this very difficult time that I've been talking to lots of people about is physical and mental health. And this is a huge issue, no matter what we're doing. We're all in this same boat together. And so I try and share a couple of ideas on how we can help ourselves, but also how we can help others.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, I'm looking forward to your year as district governor. I know you'll make a huge impact, as you always do.
Oh, I've got some plans, Kat, trust me.
Is Sue up for this?
Sorry?
Is Sue up for this?
Well, yes. I mean, she's a member of the Rotary Club of Cochrane as well.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, and so I think so. It's it is a thing that we do together, which is great. Nice. And so we help each other as we go through this year.
That's so good. I'm looking forward to it, Martin.
Thank you.
How about your top 3 things that you want to share with us today?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I've been kind of thinking, what are the top 3 things? Are there 3 kind of bullets? But in a way, they kind of sort of cover the same area of looking after ourselves and looking after others. And really, the first one is I'd like to encourage our audience members to develop a finish the race attitude. And I talk about, and this is what I talk about in my speaking and in my workshops, about setting goals, overcoming obstacles, and achieving outstanding results. With what I've been through, gosh, over the last 10 years, and the things that I've tried to achieve, I haven't always done, for sure. I mean, I think that's part of it. But the idea of goal setting really has gone through everything that I've done. And just a little bit of background, I'm a runner. Like, I just love running.
Obviously.
But I didn't start running until I was 47. So I was kind of late to the game as a kid. I was a bit of a tubby kid, and so I wasn't very good at sports. But at the age of 47, my brother challenged me to run a marathon. And I had no interest, but when a younger brother challenges you, you have to do it. I mean, there's no question. So I said yes. And then I thought, oh my gosh, like I've got to start training. So I went out for 1 kilometer out, 1 kilometer back, and it was terrible. I 2 kilometers and it wasn't much better. And of course, a marathon's 42.2 kilometers. So it's a long way. So I decided to get help, and I signed up with a running club, and they really, really helped me. They were mentors to me and sort of got me going. And eventually I ran my very first marathon in July of 2003. And that was, I mean, that was a goal. That was, you know, I've never really thought about setting such a big target that I had, you know, I didn't even run, but I started to learn some of the things I needed to do to achieve that goal. And I completed the marathon, and I just found I love running. And from there, my journey took me through to other marathons, to Boston, to do triathlon, and including Ironman triathlon, and then into ultra running. So I'm, you know, here's this old guy running around, you know, going longer and longer. And I found I had a gift, Kat. I had this gift. And my gift was I can do very long, slow, boring things. I'm just really good. I'm not fast, but I can just keep going for literally hours. Yeah. And so it ended up that I did a trip to Africa, actually. I did a cycle trip from Cairo to Cape Town. I was going through some changes in my life, and I wanted to do something very different, something very physical. And for 4 months, I traveled across Africa with another group of people. And this was a big endurance kind of effort. Again, setting a goal, breaking it down into pieces every day, 100 kilometers for 6 days a week, and actually completing that. But the highlight was when I played sports with children across Africa, whether it was table tennis or soccer or running or basketball. I just ended up playing sports with kids, and I saw the power of changing children's lives through playing sport. And that led me, and this is part of the journey, that led me to finding out about an organization called Right to Play. Yeah. And they use, Right to Play is amazing. They use play and sports-based exercises to teach children life skills, be it conflict resolution, leadership, team building. And in 2010, I decided to do a fundraiser. I decided to try and run 250 marathons in 1 year, 5 marathons a week, and try and raise $250,000. And I had really no experience in fundraising, but I thought, well, let's give it a go. Then that's been part of my ethos, is just give it a go. And so with, you know, with a lot of help from a lot of people, I ended up running the 250 marathons, finishing the 250th on December 31st, 2010. And we raised $320,000 for Right to Play. And so I was finding, and this does lead to finish the race attitude, that, you know, if you set a goal and you believe that with all your heart, you're going to do your best, and you start sharing that with people, you will get some people who will be negative. Let's be blunt. Some people will say you're an idiot. You know, what are you doing? Why are you trying to do that? But more people will come and say, good for you. Good for you. Let's give it a go. And I think sometimes we have to share what we want to do to help us achieve our goal, because people want to be part of that. And again, part of the finish the race attitude is having a goal, sharing it, getting help from other people. We can't do it all on our own. No. And so as my journey went on, I managed to do this fundraiser. I then decided, well, let's you know, push the stakes up a little bit. So I decided to set a goal of trying to achieve 10 quests or 10 fundraisers in 5 years to try and raise $1 million for Right to Play. Why not? You know, kind of, let's get, you know, that one worked. Let's try another one. And so over the 5-year period, I did a number of these quests or goals. The first one was the marathons. I also did 5 Guinness World Records.
Wow.
In terms of endurance events, in netball, in lacrosse, in hockey, ice hockey. So, you know, 5 of these different events, plus running around the coast of England, part of the coast of England, and also climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, not virtually, but actually in 24 hours. And by the end of 2014, the 10 quests were done, and we raised $1.3 million for Right to Play.
Wow.
27,000 children. And again, I want to kind of make it clear that each thing is broken. You know, it sounds huge, and looking back, yes, it was done. But boy, at the time, a lot of the challenges, a lot of hard work, working with others, getting help, but keeping the vision alive, keeping a picture of what we saw as a way of helping. And so number one is finish the race attitude. Set goals, overcome obstacles, and there were many obstacles along that way, but you can achieve outstanding results.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Number one. Number two is move for your life. And I really want to talk about the benefits of physical, getting out there, getting moving, getting walking. And I'm not talking about you've got to do a marathon. Absolutely not. I'm talking about actually just getting out on the pathways and getting some fresh air, or whether you go swimming or do something, because the impact on me of being somewhat of a overweight, kind of mid 40s person who liked their Egg McMuffins a bit too much, to start running. And that really helped me lose a little bit of weight, but also get my aerobic, my heart and so on in better shape, has had a huge impact. And what happened is, after I finished the Quest for Kids, when I finished that at the end of 2014, I was ready really to start into my professional speaking career. I'd been asked to speak for a number of groups, organizations, and I flew to Winnipeg to speak at a conference, a recreation conference, but I wasn't feeling very well. I had a terrible headache. I was kind of feeling very low, but I went there. I thought, well, come on, finish the race attitude. Let's keep going here. But what happened is, I arrived at the hotel in Winnipeg, and the organizer, Suzanne said, "Martin, you look terrible." And she said, "I'm taking you to the hospital." And she took me to the Grace Hospital in Winnipeg, and they took me in, they did a scan, and they found a massive clot on the brain, and they put me into an induced coma. And over the next 18 months, I was slowly in recovery. But when I left that hospital in Winnipeg, the specialist said, "Martin, you could have died twice." I said, "Okay, what that's about." He said, "Well, the first time is the clot. If they hadn't have found it another 7 days later, it would have completely blocked the sinus canals in the brain."
Wow.
I said, "Well, totally understand that. And thank heavens for the medical facilities we have in our country, in Canada. We're so fortunate." But I said, "What about the other way?" Well, he said, "If you hadn't been relatively fit, you would have had a massive heart attack, and you would have died from a heart attack."
Wow.
And I suddenly realized that being somewhat fit is the best life insurance we can have.
Sure it is.
And Kat, don't get me wrong. I certainly don't put down medicines or anything that our medical facilities can provide us. But the number one thing we can do is stay relatively fit. And the benefits just so far outstrip everything else. And in fact, it came back again, because just a year and a half ago, it was actually 2 years ago, I suffered a stroke. And again, I was told the same thing from the people in the stroke unit: because you're relatively fit, you're going to get through this, and you're going to have a better recovery. So number two is move for your life. Move, keep moving. We all want a quality of life. I have kids, I have grandkids. I want to be able to do things with my grandkids. I want to be able to go hiking with them, or go snowshoeing, or whatever. So that's a huge one for us to look after ourselves. And the third one is, and we've touched on it a little earlier, but that is giving back. And again, giving back. And I talk about Rotary. They're an amazing organization. Their motto is service above self. There are clubs all around the world. I mean, highly recommend them, Kat. And I know you're a member.
Yeah.
And so, we're kind of together on this. And they do such good work around the world. So they give back in the local community, they give back internationally. For youth, they do a lot for the youth in developing that skill or that belief in giving back to others. And let's be clear, giving back to others helps ourselves,
Sure
helps
does.
our mental health. No matter how tough times are, if we can help others, we are helping ourselves. And so whether it's Rotary, whether it's the Lions Club, whether it's your community, organizations, it doesn't matter. Look for a way of giving back, because it changes the world. And
Sure
right
does.
now, as we know, we're going through some very difficult times, both with COVID, but also politically. I'm just going to touch on that. I think if we're kinder to each other and can give back to each other, we just got a better world. It's as simple as that. And so number 3 is give back, share, pass the baton. I'm at an age now. I'm 65, Kat. I don't know.
You look so good.
I just had my birthday recently, but as we get into our what they call it, the third act, as we get into this kind of time, then I think it's incumbent on us to do something and to give back if we haven't already. If we have, that's wonderful. But now's the perfect time to do that. So that is my third action step, is give back and help others.
Oh, I love it. What a great way to finish your 3. That's excellent.
Big 3, big 3.
I love it, Martin. Thank you so much. What about the last piece with what do you see as an opportunity or the new frontier? What's on the horizon?
Well, gosh, this time, as you can appreciate, my world as a professional speaker and workshop facilitator has changed big time. And so on the speaking side, I'm now speaking virtually around the world, which has been absolutely fascinating. In the morning, I can get up and be talking to a Rotary club in England or in the US or in Australia. It doesn't really matter. This is now my workshop, and so I've been doing that. I've been facilitating workshops on Finish the Race attitude. I did one with a group of cadets recently in Ottawa, which was fantastic. And so I see that continuing. Okay, in the future that will continue. I am looking forward to getting back to face-to-face presentations, but I think we're going to get hybrids. I think it's going to take a while to really sort itself out from that that route. But another thing that was really super exciting was I am the executive producer for the Secret Marathon film.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is, I'd mentioned about some of my medical issues. Well, as I was recovering from the clot on the brain, my wife, Sue, gave me an article about the very first marathon of Afghanistan. And this was, Sue knows I love stuff about running and about marathons, but this was a little different because in the marathon, there were 60 runners and there were 10 international runners, and the other 50 were Afghan men, except for one Afghan woman, and her name was Zainab. And I started reading this story. I thought, well, first of all, I didn't know there was a marathon in Afghanistan. And then I didn't realize that women were persecuted for running. This kind of took me back. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it did. So I read about Zainab, and the challenges I face when I run a marathon are hydration, nutrition, maybe the weather. Those are the kind of things I need to be aware of. But when Zainab trained, what she had to contend with was men and other people yelling at her, "You're a prostitute, get off the streets." And then they would throw chunks of concrete at her to stop her running.
Terrible.
Well, I just feel running is something I did. I take it for granted, something we can all do. And then I read about how women and girls are persecuted. And there was a bit of a trigger in my head. And I thought, this is just crazy. And in fact, what Zainab did, she ended up training inside her walled garden, just like your backyard. She went round and around for hours to train because she would not stop.
Wow.
And she ran the very first marathon of Afghanistan. And I must admit, when I read this, I said to Sue, if I get better and if I can run again and if I can run a marathon, then I'm going to go to Afghanistan and I am going to support the women and girls running the second marathon. Now, I think Sue was a bit shocked. I'm not sure that was that was the outcome she expected, but Sue is super supportive. And after a few talks, we decided that I would go. And 1 year later, I was on a plane to Afghanistan.
Amazing.
I went there, just an amazing trip. We took a film crew, and we have now made the Secret Marathon film. And I've written a book, the Secret Marathon book, which has the stories, in fact, chapters from the women who were there in their own words, which was amazing. The film itself was a marathon, putting a film together and finally getting it done. But it was all worth it, because in June of last year, we were ready to hold the World Gala for the film.
Yeah.
And we signed up with a group called Demand Films, and we were going to have the film in Australia, in the US, in New Zealand, in Europe, UK, Canada. And we were ready to put it into the theaters around the world. Well, of course, COVID hit, and suddenly no World Gala in theaters around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we decided to, I don't like this word, but we decided to pivot. We decided, okay, what can we do? Things have changed, but what can we do to get this film out? And we continued working with Demand Films, and they signed up with Airmeet, the conference platform. And we've now developed a event that will be held on January the 29th to 31st. And there are 6 presentations during those 3 days, available all around the world. And it's incredible. What's happened is this particular event now, when you buy the ticket, you will go into literally what is a virtual foyer in a theater, and you can then go to a table and chat with a group of your friends, or maybe people you've never even met from around the world. And then you will be taken into the theater, and we have interviews with some featured guests, including Zainab, the first woman, John Stanton, the founder of the Running Room. We have other guests that we will be revealing as we head towards the event. So we'll have an interview, and then you will be able to watch the film. Download, show live streaming the film in high definition. And after the film, there will be a Q&A with myself, Kate McKenzie, who's the film director, and one of our Afghan cultural advisors. And so this isn't just you take your film and you watch it. You'll be able to go through the whole experience. And so there is something that we never would have done if we hadn't had the situation with COVID. And so super excited about that coming up. Hot on the heels of the world premiere gala for the Secret Marathon at the end of January is on March the 3rd. We're holding the Secret 3K event.
Oh, so exciting.
This is our 4th year, where people from all over the world, and of course this year it's all virtual. In the past, we've had these events held in centers across Canada, face-to-face, but this year it's all virtual in cooperation with the Running Room. They are our partners, and so they've helped with all the registration. And you can do this 3K cat anywhere, okay?
Cool.
So wherever you are, $15 sign up for the Secret 3K, and the charity of a charity partner is the Marathon Afghanistan itself.
Cool.
And we're raising money to get them an electronic timing system, so that they'll be able to have many more participants, boys and girls, men and women, running in Afghanistan. And I haven't told anyone else this, Kat. This is a world exclusive. Okay.
Oh, I'm honored.
But my dream, okay, got to be careful what I say, but my dream is that on that course, at some time in the future, it will be a Boston qualifying race.
I love it.
Ooh, now
look at your manifestation.
Oh my gosh, that would be my dream. And I haven't told anyone else, but now I guess it's the cat's out of the bag.
I love it, Martin. That's awesome.
And so, yeah, so I mean, and to me, it's all about that connectivity, about connecting. And so super excited about that. And then just over a month later in April, my next book's coming out, which is The Ageless Athlete. Age is just a number. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. Going back to Finish the Race Attitude, the premise of the book is I set my personal best running times back in 2003 at the age of 47.
Wow.
So that's for the 5K, the 10K, the half, and the full. And I decided at the age of 62 to try and beat them 15 years later. And so the story is about this old guy who hires a coach and tackles this personal challenge. And I think in life, what it comes down to really, we can talk about, challenges, about taking on other people. It's really about challenging yourself.
For sure.
And that's really, no matter, what age we are, we can do that. So The Ageless Athlete is coming out at the end of April. It's been published by Rocky Mountain Books. They've published my other 3 books. And so super excited for that to come out.
I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh. And for us, I look forward to it.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. So we can find everything on your website, obviously your previous books.
Yeah, everything on the website. The books are on Amazon or any good bookstore. So all 3 are out right now. And then the 4th one will be coming out at the end of April. So, absolutely.
That's awesome. Martin, thank you so much for joining us today. I knew this was going to be a good one. Yeah, go ahead.
I can just share, if anyone would like a ticket to the Secret Marathon World Gala, go to thesecretmarathon.com and you can buy your tickets there.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Martin. And thanks for all your good work everywhere. I really appreciate it.
It's an absolute pleasure. Great to see you again. And yeah, hope to see you face to face before too long.
Oh, it will. It'll happen. 2021, it's going to happen. I feel it.
Good.
Everyone, that was Martin Parnell. Check out the Secret Marathon and his new book now, and then the new book in March. So thank you so much for joining us on Cat's Track, and we'll see you next time.